Good morning, everyone. This is our first class of our series, Gentle Yoga for Beginners and Everybody. My name is Mickey, and welcome to class. This is my husband over here, Christian, and he's going to be playing the drum for us. And then you might see my little black cat wander around sometimes, Luna. Just a little bit about me. I started taking yoga in 1994. This is when I took my first class, and that was at U of O. I took a Hatha class and I took a Kundalini yoga class um, when I was there as a freshman. And then that was my first time taking yoga. Then a friend of mine wanted to go on a retreat to Costa Rica. So when we turned 30, we decided to go to Costa Rica. And that was a really transformative trip for me. I was already in my, I just turned 30, but I was having some health issues. And so it really just helped me kind of tune into those things. I mean, not to say that it fixed everything, it wasn't a cure all, but it was definitely helpful. And it's something that I always sort of came back to throughout my life. And my husband and I, we decided to actually adopt. And after some health concerns that I had. And so to get ready for that, I thought it would be great to just learn more about yoga myself and go to teacher training. So in 2017, I went to yoga teacher training over in Montevilla at Yoga Refuge. And so that was a really transformative experience. And I knew as a teacher, I'm a math teacher too, that in order for me to learn to teach yoga, I had to teach yoga, right? It's like that's how we learn to do things, is really to do them. And so I've been teaching yoga now for since 2018, and so then I'm teaching it now to you on Zoom after all of this time. One thing I will use in class is the book, The Yamas and the Niyamas, because it turns out yoga is more than just shapes. We call the shapes in yoga, we call them asana, but there's a lot of other aspects of yoga. In fact, there are 8 limbs of yoga, 2 of which are the yamas and the niyamas, but there's breath, meditation, and probably ultimately enlightenment. We're working towards that. So I'll use some quotes. There are 10 yamas and niyamas, and this is fun because in this series we'll do one per week. So some other things that will be helpful for class if you have them, and you can always get creative. I'm just going to move my chair out of the way and grab this microphone so you can hopefully continue to hear me. Does that look like a good placement? Okay. Will be, I have a blanket, blocks, strap, bolster, and even a chair. So you could even do, a lot of these shapes that we're going to do. I want you to feel empowered to do them creatively. And so if you wanted to use a chair, that would be great. Um, so you can do anything seated in the chair, and I'll try and demonstrate some of those things. If you'd like to come onto your back, that's where we'll start class. So if you want to, you can always sit to. I want you to feel empowered to do what is going to work best for you. So if you're going to want to come onto your back, you can lean back, plant your feet on the mat, and maybe you allow your knees to sort of tent in towards each other. With your arms, you could rest them at your sides or rest them on your belly, or maybe even cactus them. If that felt okay for the shoulders, you could cactus them out to the sides. As you begin to arrive here in this time and place, you could allow your gaze to soften, maybe even closing down the eyes, imagining your eyelids like gentle, soft blankets. Allow your gaze to begin to turn inward. Take a moment to notice your thoughts, whatever thoughts might be coming up. And then you might even invite those thoughts, if they're not useful to you right now to gently fade away. Almost imagining that they could sort of sink into the earth, falling out of your mind. Just know that whatever important ones that you need, they'll just come back to you exactly at the time that you need them. You could start to deepen your breath, and then imagine your awareness almost like climbing down the stairs of your spine. And arriving deep into your heart center. As you inhale, feel the expanse at your heart center. Imagine a beautiful landscape of your own creation. So often we're looking for messages from the outside world. And at this moment, you might allow yourself to find a message deep within your heart center. Maybe it's an intention for your practice today. I have a suggestion for an intention if you'd like one. Since this is our first class together of the spring, the very first of yoga's ethical practices, called the yamas, is called ahimsa, and ahimsa means non-violence. I just have a short reading from the book by Deborah Adele. Non-violence is so valued that it stands at the very core and foundation of all yoga philosophy and practice. We grow our capacity to be non-violent by learning how to move through the everyday challenges of life, by addressing the things that precipitate our tendencies towards violence. Ahimsa, or non-violence, means to do no harm, calls forth from us our most brilliant and best self. Our capacity to be nonviolent depends on our proactive practice of courage, balance, love of self, and compassion for others. One of my favorite quotes in the book, because I'm not going to read the whole chapter on ahimsa, but one of my very favorite quotes is by Eddie Hillesum. She was a young Holocaust victim. She said, "Ultimately, we have just one moral duty: to reclaim large areas of peace in ourselves. More and more peace, and to reflect it towards others. And the more peace there is within us, the more peace there will also be in our troubled world." What an amazing thing for her to say, really, in her diaries while being persecuted. So imagine this beautiful area of peace within yourself. Allow yourself to know that you can come back to this place of inner peace. And then ask yourself, how might you greet yourself with nonviolence? And throughout class, you might just notice your thoughts, your feelings about your body, and then check it against that lens of nonviolence. Is there a way to offer yourself compassion and curiosity? If you're ready to start to reawaken the body, go ahead and stretch your arms out wide, out into a letter T, whether you're seated or laying on the ground. Reach from fingertips to fingertips. And then on your next inhale, you can float your hands up towards the sky, and we'll cross the right arm over the top of the left. Give yourself a nice big hug. Maybe even squeeze your shoulders, gently rock your torso a little bit side to side. Send yourself so much gratitude and love for showing up today for yourself. And then we'll take one more nice deep breath here. On your next inhale, you can spread your arms back open wide to the sides. And then on your next inhale, float the fingertips up towards the sky. This time, call to mind somebody you'd like to send a special blessing or support or a hug to. And you can cross the left arm over the top of the right. Maybe give your shoulders a little squeeze. You might even gently rock the torso side to side. Breathing into any sensations. Breathing into your back body. Feeling that gentle caress of the earth massaging your back. Take one more nice deep breath here, and then we'll open the arms out to the side in a letter T. You could start to walk your feet now out to the edges of your mat, and then allow the knees to float over to one side, allowing the right knee maybe to fall down towards the left foot. You might turn your gaze over towards your opposite hand. On the next inhale, float your knees back up to the sky, lift your face back up to the sky, and then allow yourself to float over to the other side. So maybe that top knee is floating down towards the bottom foot. You could extend your arms out, peeking over to that opposite hand. Maybe you want to take a few more rounds of breath like this. Inhaling through center, exhaling, allowing the knees to windshield wiper from side to side. So go ahead and follow the pace of your own breath. You could do this from your chair as well, just coming to the edge of the chair, moving the knees from side to side. Take another nice deep breath on each side. And then when you're ready, we'll meet back up in center when you feel balanced from left to right. From here, you might hug your knees in towards your chest. Maybe you even want to walk your hands up to either leave your hands behind your thighs or up onto your ankles or calves, or maybe up onto your feet, bringing your knees towards your armpits for happy baby pose. It might feel good to rock a little bit side to side, extending one leg long, maybe rocking onto the opposite knee. Whatever feels good to you and your body, just exploring movement and sensation. And we'll take one more nice deep breath here. You can release your feet, or your legs to the mat, you can bring your hands next to your hips and then press into your heels, slide the hips over to the right, and roll onto your left side to roll on up to a seat. If you want to make a comfortable little platform for your seat, you can maybe fold a blanket or bring a pillow to sit on. And then it could be helpful if you have a strap, or maybe you have even a dish towel could work as a strap, so long as you can extend your arms a little bit. Then I do have these blocks, but you could use maybe some big books if you have that. So take a moment to settle into your seat. Maybe close down the eyes once more. Feel the expansion of your breath. And once you arrive in your seat, we're going to practice what's called ujjayi breathing. So in yoga, we have those 8 limbs, as I was mentioning earlier, and one of them is called pranayama. And pranayama is breath practices. And there's lots of fun different breath practices we can try. One of them, the most sort of popular in yoga, seems to be ujjayi breathing. And this is what we call the warrior's breath. So we'll just practice that right now. And then as you move through class, maybe you can use it. I find that in my everyday life, if I'm finding stress outside of yoga, that, oh, I have that practice of the pranayama. I have that practice of the ujjayi breathing. So if you imagine for a moment that you have a mirror, and let's imagine you were going to steam up the mirror with your mouth open. So that sensation of steaming up the mirror from the back of your throat, it takes a little bit of constriction at the back of your throat, which is actually strengthening those muscles. So we're going to do it this time with the mouth closed, breathing out through the nose. And you might even imagine that you have like a shell from the ocean, and you notice that sound that it makes when you hold it to your ear, the ocean sound. Ujjayi breathing is much like that. So as you start to breathe, you might allow your tongue to rest right at the top of the roof of your mouth. Just allow it to softly rest there. And as you exhale, find that little bit of constriction at the back of your throat. Hear your ocean breath. Inhale through the nose, filling the belly, maybe even bringing the hands to feel the expansion of your body, and allow yourself to really soften and take up space. As you exhale, allow your shoulders to relax. Find that gentle ujjayi breath. Listen for your breath and allow it to soothe you. We're going to try to bring this ujjayi breathing into our practice with a little bit of movement. On your exhale, hear your ujjayi breathing. Allow your hands to rest on your lap now, and then you can start to bow your head towards your heart. Inhale will lift the head, maybe even lift the gaze up. Exhale, soften and bow. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. The next time you lower your head towards your heart, on your next inhale, allow your right ear to gently fall towards your right shoulder. On your next exhale, bowing your head towards your heart, and then inhale, float your gentle with the neck. You can think of each one of these poses as infinite, and our place within them can change from day to day. The next time your right ear falls over towards your right shoulder, you might bring your right hand up to the left side of your neck. If you had some like essential oils or some lotion, you could always store this pose for later or get out those supplies to give yourself a little neck massage. Just bringing the fingertips along the side of the neck. And then you can allow your hand to fall back into your lap. And we'll just take a few no nods. Lifting the gaze to the left, lowering the gaze to the right. Gently shaking the head no. Allowing yourself an opportunity to practice saying no. And then the next time your nose falls towards your shoulder, you could start to bow your head once more towards your heart. We'll sweep the chin across the front of the chest and then allow your left ear to come over towards your left shoulder. We're going to pause here. You might take your left hand up to the right side of your neck, giving yourself a gentle neck massage. What are the tensions that are living there? Just allow them to sweep away with your breath. Whenever you're ready, you can bring your hand back into your lap, and then we'll start those no nods once more, shaking the head gently no, bringing the chin towards the shoulder, and then lifting it up at a diagonal. Find some slow, steady breaths. One more nice deep breath, and the next time your chin comes towards your shoulder, you can relax your gaze back down towards your heart, circling the chin down towards the chest, and then we'll inhale, lift the gaze back to center. Go ahead and reach your arms up and overhead, look up, and then we're going to bring the right hand down either to a block, or if you're sitting on a chair, you could plant it on the seat of the chair, or you could plant the palm on the earth. Reach your left arm up and overhead, any amount that feels good to you. And you might even look up at your fingertips. You could either stay here, or maybe you want to paint a big circle with your fingertips, reaching your left hand out at a diagonal, and then circle, sweep the arm back up and overhead, lifting the heart, lifting the gaze. Go ahead and find a few more big circles with your hand. Maybe you can imagine beautiful rainbows trickling off of your fingertips. Allowing yourself to use your imagination, and celebrating that bit of beauty that you can create for yourself. The next time your hand reaches up towards the sky, you can look up, and then we'll reach both arms up. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. Allow your head to gently bow towards your heart. On the next inhale, we'll sweep the arms up and overhead. And then exhale, you can land the left hand either on the block, the seat of your chair, or the earth, whatever would feel good for you. Press into that hand as you lift your right hand up towards the sky. Remembering you are your own best teacher. You know your body best of all. So if it's too hard on the shoulder, you could bring your hand to your shoulder, or even rest your hand on your hip and still find this length all along your side. If you want to find those arm circles, you could reach your right fingertips out in front at a diagonal. Maybe you follow your fingertips with your gaze. Circle sweeping the arm up and overhead. Imagining those beautiful glitter rainbows dripping off of your fingertips. The next time your hand reaches up towards the sky, you can pause there, and then we'll lift the torso, reach both hands up. Exhale, draw the hands to the heart center. Go ahead and allow your head to once more bow towards your heart. And then we'll inhale, blink the eyes open, lift the gaze. And then if you have a strap, you could bring the strap or whatever you have that you want to just use to lengthen your hands. You could bring it over your right hand, reach your right hand out to the side, and then we'll dial the right hand up and over, allow the elbow to bend. Whatever support you have in your hand, you can allow it to drape down your spine. So my strap is just falling down the length of the spine. You could stay here, maybe bringing your opposite hand to your elbow. Or part of the reason why we have the strap is you can spin that left hand out to the side and then flip the palm. So now the thumb is facing down. Wrap the hand around behind you and maybe grab hold of the strap. You could also just grab hold of your t-shirt from the top and bottom. And maybe you want to walk your hands towards each other. We call this pose Gomukhasana, or cow face arms. And just find a little bit of stretch for the shoulders, the upper back, opening through the heart, lifting the chest. And then it might feel good to peek the gaze back behind the left shoulder. You might think about not going all the way to the edge, finding a little bit of softness, and just allowing yourself to be where it feels good, where it feels sustainable. Avoiding pain, deciphering the difference between pain and sensation. On your next exhale, if you're peeking behind your shoulder, you can allow your gaze to fall over the cliff of your left side body. Allowing your head to gently bow towards your heart, breathing into any areas of sensation. With your next exhale, you can release the strap, release your arms, bring your hands into your lap. Just take a moment to pause. Coming back into your ujjayi breathing. See if you can notice that beautiful sound, just like the ocean, soothing the back of your throat. When you're ready, you can blink your eyes open, and we'll find that same stretch on the other side. So I'm going to take my strap to the left side, reach it out into my left hand, and then you can dial that left hand up and overhead. Allow the strap to drape down your spine, point your elbow up towards the sky, and you could support your elbow by bringing your right hand onto your elbow. This would be a nice place to stay. Or you could spin that right hand out and down, flip the palm back so the thumb is pointing down, and wrap the hand around to reach for your strap or your dish towel, or maybe your, I don't know, bathrobe sash. side body. Peeking over the edge. Allowing yourself to find that place between effort and ease. Where can you soften your effort? Take one more nice deep breath here, and then you can release your hands and arms. Allow your hands to find your lap. Turn your gaze back to center. Just take a moment to pause. Now you can stay seated if you're in a chair. You can do this in a chair. You can do this. I encourage bed yoga. That would be really fun. If it's getting to be tiresome being cross-legged, you could even spread your legs out wide. It can be a little hard on the knees. So if you wanted to do your cat and cow from a seat, you could bring your hands onto your knees. Inhale to lift your heart forward, and then exhale, round your spine and your pelvis back. If you want to do this from a seat, that's great. Or if you'd like, you could change it up and come to hands and knees. One thing that can be helpful if you're on hands and knees is to bring a blanket underneath the knees for a little bit of extra padding. I'm on carpet, so I have extra padding. And then you could bring your palms underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips, if that feels comfortable. Sometimes if I want to give my wrists a little break, I'll use my blocks on the medium setting and allow my forearms to rest on the blocks rather than being on the palms of the hands. So wherever feels good to you, go ahead and find that cat and cow shape. So we'll inhale, lower the belly, lift the heart. Exhale, round into the spine, draw the belly button in towards the spine. Realize you might hear me better this way. So find your own version of cat and cow. As you explore the movement of your spine, you might marvel at its amazing design. After a few rounds of cat and cow, it might feel good to find some other movements. Maybe drawing a circle with the belly button. Breathing into any areas of sensation. You could do belly button circles from a seat as well. Take one more nice deep breath in whichever direction you're moving. If you're drawing a circle with the belly button, you might want to take a few rounds of breath in the other direction. Take one more nice deep breath wherever you're at. And then maybe you want to find a child's pose. So you could bring the big toes together to touch, open the knees wide, sink the hips back, walk the hands out in front. Maybe lower your forehead down to the mat, or if it feels too far away, you could stack the forearms to make a little pillow to rest your head. Another option would be a supported child's pose. For that, you could use a bolster or a pillow underneath the body. And if child's pose doesn't feel accessible or feels too hard on the knees, another option would be to lay flat on the belly or find a seated shape, or maybe even downward dog. If you're on the bolster, you might allow one cheek to rest. And then after a few rounds of breath, you could turn the opposite cheek to rest. the back of your body. Almost like a protective turtle shell. Allow the breath to swirl in between the rib cage. If you're in a child's pose and you want to take a side bend from here, you could press up and then walk your hands over to the right, reaching your left arm long. You might bring your right forearm for your forehead to rest on. Allow your breath to cascade down the side of the body from your right fingertips all the way down to your right hip. Actually, that's left. I have my forehead on my right forearm, and then we're breathing down the left side body. When you're ready, we'll find the other side so you can press back up into your tabletop maybe. Walk your hands over to the left this time, reaching your right arm long. I'm going to bend my left forearm for my head to rest on the forearm. Allowing your breath to cascade down the side of the body. From your fingertips to the base of your hip. And then when you're ready, we'll come back to center. We're going to be coming next on to our bellies if you feel like that would feel okay. I'm going to move the blanket off to the side, and then you can come onto your forearms, walk your knees back, and then lower down onto your belly. So you can really allow your belly to rest heavy on the earth. Extend the legs back, untuck the toes, press the tops of the feet down. And we'll stack the elbows underneath the shoulders. Press into the earth for Sphinx pose. And you can find that nice gentle back bend here. Maybe you can press the palms down and gently glide them back as you lift your heart. On the next exhale, we'll turn the gaze over the right shoulder. Inhale, bring it back to center, and exhale, turn it over the left shoulder. Inhale back to center, and then you can stack the palms, lower your forehead down to the back of your hands. And this is one of my favorite shapes, Makrasana, crocodile pose. And one of my favorite teachers has said that this is a great pose for anxiety. So maybe you try it out the next time if you're finding you're anxious. And she says it's a good way for us to breathe into different areas of our body. So thinking about the back of your body as your place of self-care, feel that rise and fall of your breath. You might bend your knees, kick your heels towards the sky, and then allow your heels to gently windshield wiper from side to side. On your next exhale, soften your feet back down to the earth. Then we'll lift the head, slide the hands back behind you. You can allow the back of your hands to rest on the earth next to your hips. And as you lift your head, turn your gaze to the right and then allow your left temple to come down towards the earth. Now mine doesn't reach all the way, so I can make a little bit of space either by bringing a block underneath the temple or tucking the toes under, gliding the body forward. And that can make a little more space for your left temple to kiss the mat. Maybe you feel that gentle turn of your head, a nice stretch down the side of the neck. And then we're going to turn this into a flying superhero. So you can bring your gaze back to the front of your mat, lift your head, maybe float your arms, maybe float your legs, any amount to come into a flying superhero shape locust pose. Feel your body almost gliding over the earth, using the strength of your spine to hold you up. Then on the next exhale, we'll turn the gaze this time to the left. Allow the right temple to come down towards the mat or maybe a block. Allowing your temple to kiss the mat. And if you need to make more space, you can always tuck your toes under and just glide your body forward. And that could make more space for your temple to rest heavy on the earth. Take one more nice deep breath here, softening all of your effort. And then we'll plant the palms underneath the shoulders. You can tuck the toes under and press up to tabletop. And then we're going to come to stand next. So any way you'd like to get to standing, if you'd like to take a downward dog, you could use the blocks or even a chair. So I'll show both versions. For the blocks, I'm going to use the blocks on the low setting and to make sure they're not going to push out from underneath me. So making sure they're very strong and steady. And then you can tuck your toes under, lift your hips up and back. Maybe you pedal your heels. If you want to do this with a chair or any other support, you can bring the chair out in front and then walk your hips back. This can just bring your arms up a little bit, take the pressure off of the wrists, and still give you that length in your spine as you lean it back. Take one more nice deep breath in your downward dog, and then we'll start to walk our feet to our hands or our hands to our feet. If you have a chair, you can plant your palms on the chair, blocks, or shins, and then we'll press into that support and inhale to lift up halfway with a flat back. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale for halfway lift. And exhale to forward fold. Let's try that one more time. Pressing into the heels. You can use the strength of your spine to lift yourself up halfway. Exhale to forward fold. And then you can slightly bend into your knees. Sink your hips back a little bit. Slide your hands out and up as you press up tall to stand. And then exhale, you can draw your hands to your heart center. Let's do that two more times. Inhale, sweep the arms up, look up. Exhale, draw your hands to your heart center. Inhale, sweep your arms, look up. Exhale, draw your hands to your heart. And then from here, you can release your hands down to your sides. We're coming into mountain pose, Tadasana. Take a moment to close your eyes or soften your gaze. And you can feel into your feet, maybe leaning a little bit forward and a little bit back, a little bit side to side. just like all of these new spring plants, you might feel the roots from your feet reaching down into the ground, drawing up that nourishment, that support, feeling your connection to all of the different people joining you from afar. And then you can blink your eyes open. We're going to practice tree pose, which is a standing balance. You can also use your chair or wall for support. So I'm going to bring my chair close by so that I can show that. So I'll just have that here in case I want to hold on to something. From here, we'll peel the left heel up off of the mat. And this could actually be a nice place to stay. It feels really good to my foot. It's like a nice little massage for the foot. And you could play around here with balance. If you'd like, you can open the knee. Maybe you bring the heel right to the ankle and you keep the toes on the ground for a little bit of support. Or you could slide the heel up onto the calf. Some people reach down and they plant their foot on their upper thigh. I don't find that very comfortable though. So wherever you might find comfort, stability, you could keep holding on to your support and invite either one hand to meet at your heart or maybe both hands. It's okay to fall out and come back. We call this pose tree pose, Vrikshasana. Now with your fingertips, you could bloom the 3 middle fingers of your hands open and find what we call a lotus mudra. Imagine this is your cup. See it flowing, overflowing really. And then maybe you bring your intention into the center of your hands. You can float that intention out into the universe, reaching the hands up and then circling them back and down. Let's step the foot out and you can just shake it all off. Allow your arms to graze your sides, finding that gentle rotation, allowing your arms to gently massage your body with a little tap. And then we'll come back to center and get ready for the other side. So from here, you can peel your right heel up off of the mat. Maybe you stay here, just allowing yourself to balance on one foot and the ball of the opposite foot. Or you could open your knee out to the side. Maybe you keep your toes planted down. You could allow your heel to press against your ankle. You could find that chair for support. Maybe sliding the heel up onto the calf or on the upper thigh. You can always experiment any place along the way. Maybe you invite your hands to meet at your heart center. You could bloom your 3 middle fingers open. Imagine your cup is overflowing. onto your mat. If you want to take another downward dog, you might inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Exhale, lead with your heart as you swan dive forward. Inhale here for halfway lift with a flat back. And then exhale, plant your palms if you like, or make your way down however you like. You can come through a downward dog, or just make your way to the floor. As you come onto your back, if there are any last shapes you want to make before your final rest, you're welcome to do that now. If you'd like some props underneath you for support, you could bring a pillow underneath the knees. Allow yourself to come onto your back, and if it's hard to lay flat on your back, you can find a seat, or you could come back to that constructive rest pose. This can be a little bit gentler for the low back. To bend the knees, plant the feet on the mat, and then allow your knees to tent together. As you begin to arrive in your corpse pose, your final resting pose, you can allow your eyelids to soften. Imagine you're able to smooth out your forehead. Allow yourself to find space at the hinge of your jaw, relaxing your teeth away from each other. Maybe softening your tongue. Allow your shoulders to settle deep onto the earth. Imagine them almost like falling into the earth. As you rest in whatever shape feels supportive for you, whether seated or lying down, allow your awareness to drop like an anchor back into that peaceful, serene landscape of your heart. Rest your awareness at that beautiful location at your heart center. Imagine looking out at the horizon. As Eddie Hillesum says, we have one moral duty: to reclaim large areas of peace in ourselves, more and more peace, and to reflect it towards others. And the more peace there is within us, the more peace there will also be in our troubled world. So good to know that the ways in which we nurture ourselves have a ripple effect by reclaiming this large area of peace for yourself. You are helping to build a world that is more peaceful. that beautiful jewel, your intention at your heart center. And remind yourself you can always come back here to this peace that you have created within yourself. Your ideal world, your intention, your practice. Since you're in your very own place of your own creation, you're always welcome to stay here, resting in Shavasana for as long as you would like. If you feel ready to reawaken the body, you can start to deepen your breath, allowing your breath to travel down into your fingers and into your toes. Start to bring some gentle movements here. Maybe you take a long body stretch and then roll onto one side and find a fetal position for a moment. Of course, you're welcome to stay longer in your final rest. Whenever you feel ready, you can invite your hands to meet at your heart center, coming to a comfortable seat. And allow your head to bow towards your heart. It's such an honor and a privilege to guide you through your practice. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, which means peace, peace, peace. Thanks everyone for being here. I'll stop the recording, and if you have any thoughts or questions about class, you can let me know.